WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. A Lowndes County woman pleads guilty to killing her husband. The gruesome case involves a mother and daughter, along with the eventual burning of Manuel Vasquez's body. WCBI's Joy Barnes was in the courtroom today and learns more about the investigation.
It's a terrible, terrible, unexplainable crime that they committed.
Christina Martinez showed little emotion when pleading guilty to killing her husband, Manuel Vasquez, burning his body and scattering his remains on the couple's lawn. The investigation started in June 2015 at the couple's New Hope home. District Attorney Scott Calhoun says Martinez and her mother, Lydia, told the Vasquez children that their father went on a retreat after the youngsters reported hearing a noise they thought was a gunshot.
To burn his body almost completely, and to lie about it to the children, to his family, to the community. And had it not been for the investigation, who knows if they would have ever been caught.
In a civil lawsuit that was filed in federal court in 2016, we learned where investigators found bullet holes in the box springs of a mattress in the master bedroom, bleach stains on the mattress, and new carpeting. Calhoun declined to go into any details that were not made in the plea agreement because he says the case will be re-presented to the grand jury where there could be more indictments.
Investigations are really never, ever over, because when you get new information, the state is under obligation to consider that information, see whether you can corroborate it.
Once we found the other circumstances that were revealed to the state, she was honestly relieved.
Christina Martinez was originally charged with capital murder, but pled to second-degree murder.
She did talk with her children, and they suggested strongly that she figure out a way to get out of prison as quickly as she could, legitimately.
The case has taken many turns, but prosecutors plan to make sure everyone involved is brought to justice.
Once the full story comes out about what happened here and what eventually led to Mr. Vasquez's murder and the attempt to cover it up, I think it's going to be too unbelievable for a Lifetime movie.
In Columbus, Joey Barnes, WCBI News.
Christina Martinez's sentencing is delayed until after the investigation is complete due to her possible cooperation with prosecutors. Lydia Martinez remains on bond from her indictment. A former Columbus businessman pleads guilty to secretly filming people inside a home. Richard Dobbins pleaded guilty to 2 counts of filming another person without permission for lewd purposes. His trial started yesterday, but he made the plea this morning. Lowndes County investigators say a recording device was found in the bathroom of the home. Other electric equipment was also seized. Deputies worked with the state attorney general's Internet Crimes Against Children's task force in this investigation. Dobbins will be sentenced tomorrow. A West Point school was under a lockout as police searched for a suspect who was reportedly trying to break into a car on campus. This all happened at Southside Elementary School this morning. Now, this is the man that West Point police say they're looking for, 22-year-old DeMarcus White. Assistant Superintendent Jermaine Taylor tells us the school's resource officer chased the suspect but was not able to apprehend him. The officer suffered a broken arm during the chase. Meanwhile, the school was under a lockout while police searched a nearby wooded area. This meant that exterior doors of the building were locked and outside recess was suspended until police gave the all clear. Taylor says the suspect never entered the building and the students and staff were safe throughout this entire incident. White, meanwhile, is wanted on charges of car burglary and simple assault on a police officer. While staff and students were dealing with the possibility of a campus intruder, Monroe County residents were learning what to do in an active shooter situation. Master Sergeant Tim Oswalt of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office took his message to Aberdeen's American Legion Post 26. Oswalt laid out ways people can protect themselves if they ever face a worst-case scenario. He says in an active shooter situation, just do what you can to get away.
First thing, if you hear shooting, if you hear gunfire, you want to avoid it at all costs as a civilian. Then you want to barricade yourself into a room, and we got different tactics we're going to teach about that to deny them access to your location. And if they do breach that access, then the last thing you need to do is defend yourself. And if you have to, you have every right to protect yourself. And you fight for your life at that point.
Now, there's another seminar being held tonight at Amory High School's auditorium. It starts at 6:30. A man is hospitalized after a serious crash this afternoon in Columbus. It happened around 1:30 on Highway 12. Witnesses on the scene say a Penske truck collided with a Jeep Grand Cherokee. A person in that Jeep was ejected after it rolled over. That's according to people who were there on the scene. The extent of the man's injuries are not known right now. Columbus police are investigating the accident. Time to turn things over now to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson to get a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Well, Andrea, as expected, lots of sunshine out there. Still lots of sunshine as we get ready for our Thursday evening. That's our Alpha Insurance Camera Network. We've got some upper 80s to low 90s across our area right now. We'll be cooling down into the 70s after sunset. Some drier air trying to come on down and cool us down this evening. And it does look like we are going to have lows down into the low to mid 60s tonight with mainly clear conditions. Looking ahead, more sun, more heat, above normal temperatures, and that will stay with us this weekend. Full forecast is coming up.
Mental illness is something many people will face, but according to the World Health Organization, 2/3 of people with a known mental disorder never seek help from a health professional. Our Riley Livingston takes a look at some of the reasons why and how community services are trying to change those numbers.
1 in 4 people will suffer from mental illness at some point in their life, according to the World Health Organization. But for something so common, it often comes with a negative perception.
People all around us have mental illness, and it's just one of those subjects that nobody wants to talk about unless there's some type of bad situation that happens.
Community Counseling Services is working to change the conversation.
What we try to do is teach people in those programs how to deal with those stigmas, and us also try to advocate for them and their rights, because they have rights like everybody else has rights.
That stigma often comes into conflict with those rights.
When somebody's trying to rent from an apartment complex or going out to get a job, their mental illness sometimes impacts their ability to do that. And it shouldn't, because we work with, we have people that we employ that have mental illness, and they are some of the most reliable, dependable, hard workers. They value that job just like all of us value our jobs.
Karen Fry says one way to change the social perception is to look at mental health the same way you look at physical health.
Like we would never think about somebody with diabetes just keeping them in the hospital for months on end. We're going to work with their providers to get them the medication they need. We're going to work with their families to educate them about things they need to do in their home environment. And the same thing applies to the individuals we work with.
Now, changes will soon be ordered for the Mississippi mental health system after a federal judge said the state violated civil rights laws by not providing mental health patients enough care in their communities.
The first female African-American administrator is on the job at Calhoun County schools. We'll have that story coming up on WCBI News.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Andrea Self.
Welcome back. The assistant principal at Calhoun City High School is breaking barriers. As Allie Martin reports, she has already made a name for herself with teachers in the area, and now she's clearing a path for greater success district-wide.
She may be assistant principal, but that doesn't stop Nicole Chandler from getting out of her office and visiting with Calhoun City High School students during lunch.
How you doing? You doing all right?
Chandler was named assistant principal this summer, becoming the first female African-American administrator for Calhoun County schools.
I would definitely think the good Lord saw it in my plan before I did. So as time has progressed and I've tried to strive in my academic career with education, the field of education, it was definitely something that kind of rolled onto and picked up and moved along with it, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
She is no stranger to Calhoun County schools, serving for 1 year as intervention specialist for the district, helping students who are struggling academically. Chandler says she's excited about challenges and opportunities that come with her new role at the high school.
One area that we are definitely working towards improving upon is some of our academic end goals for our students. And so that's starting with setting goals at the very beginning and then utilizing our data to drive our ship as to how we're going to reach those goals.
Teachers say Chandler is the perfect choice for assistant principal. They say her determination to help students and teachers set goals and surpass those goals is already making a big difference.
She's helped me with explicit instruction and just breaking things down, and we start on Monday, and this is what we're going to look at, and we look at it until Friday. So I've seen that benefit my scores.
Especially on those benchmark exams, I'm seeing my scores growing, and that's really what we're looking for, is growth. Just in this 4-week time period, we're seeing growth already with U.S. history in our state tested areas.
Chandler is looking forward to the rest of the school year working with a team of dedicated professionals to impact the lives of students. In Calhoun City, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Chandler helps oversee students in grades 5 through 12.
Lots of sunshine, lots of heat still out there right now. Current temperatures in the upper 80s to around 90, and it will stay sunny and hot for a while. We'll have your full forecast next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
It's going to be another one of those weekends to find a pool, find someplace cool, because you will need to be cool when these temperatures will skyrocket back into the mid-90s Saturday and Sunday. Sunscreen, hats, sunglasses, water needed for your football games, your football tailgates on Saturday, and then probably the same story on Sunday too, minus the football, just sunny and hot here as we get into your Sunday. So not really a lot of action going on across our region right now, but there's a little bit of haze in the sky, still from some of those fires that we talked about yesterday evening at 10. Way out west, some of that smoke has infiltrated the deep south. So you may see an extra orange sunset this evening, but it's warm, upper 80s right now in Columbus and Tupelo. You factor in the humidity, well, it's a bit muggy out there, but there's some drier air. Notice the dew point values drop off dramatically here northeast of Columbus, and that drier air will come on in later this evening. So we are looking at lows tonight down into the low to mid 60s. Last night we were in the 70s, but tonight it looks like we fall about 10 degrees or so in many spots. So for your Friday, more sunshine, more heat. That rain chain's at 0, wind at about 5 to 10, and highs should be mainly in the low 90s. Some of you could actually get to 94, perhaps 95, but another warm day for us, very similar to what we had today across the area, but the wind probably not as strong. As we look at futurecast, you can see Hurricane Dorian moving up the Carolina coast, but we are on the back side of it. There's actually a weak frontal boundary that moved through earlier today. There's going to be another one that will move through sometime late tomorrow into early Saturday. Really no effects with that. If anything, we'll just see even hotter temperatures going into next week as Dorian goes away and we just stay quiet. Eventually, some of that moisture will start to creep back in here by the middle to end of next week, and that will give us a chance for a shower or storm by the end of next week. But if you're heading out to the tailgate in Starkville on Saturday, lots of sunshine. It's going to be hot. The heat index could be into the low 100s again. Same story in Tuscaloosa for the Alabama football game. Now, Ole Miss, yes, during the afternoon tailgate, it will be pretty toasty here, but by game time and thereafter, once it kicks off, the sun gets low on the horizon and sets, and we're actually looking at a great evening there in Oxford. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Some warm temperatures here, well above average for September. Pretty dry, low to mid-90s, maybe some upper 90s thrown into the mix, at least through Tuesday. Still mid-90s for Wednesday and Thursday, rather, with a chance for a spotty shower storm.
The Rebels are still looking for win number 1 as they prepare to host Arkansas Saturday. Details on the matchup next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Mississippi State returns to Davis-Wade Stadium on Saturday for week 2 of the college football season. The Bulldogs playing host to Southern Miss. Both teams entering into the weekend looking to start their seasons off 2-0. State may have come out with the win on Saturday, but they only beat out Louisiana by 10 points. And game 1 is good to knock the rust off, but also exposes some improvements that need to be made, and State looking to fix some of those things for week 2.
I didn't like, well, obviously with the, turning the ball over. That was obviously a crucial mistake in the game. So heightened awareness, I guess, of my ball security is the biggest thing I want to work on.
Just go back to fundamentals and, just going back to playing the game the right way, taking angles, just day one things that, we know we're capable of. But, last week being the first game, first time we've been live against another opponent since last year, you know what I mean? You're going to have missed tackles. You can't never play a perfect game. But it's things we got to clean up for sure, though.
They got some fast guys at wide receivers. They like to get the ball out. They like to get the ball to the wide receivers and let them make plays. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we get some pass rush on Southern Miss. It should be a pretty good game.
Well, with those high temperatures anticipated on Saturday, Mississippi State Athletics is preparing to make sure that fans stay safe. Fans will be allowed to bring in one clear, colorless, full or empty water bottle per person into Davis-Wade Stadium. Non-clear, color tinted or stainless steel bottles will not be permitted, so make sure you keep them clear. State will provide free water bottle refill stations as well as air-conditioned buses and rest stations. Fans are also encouraged to hydrate throughout the day, wear sunscreen, as well as avoid drinks that may cause dehydration, such as caffeinated and alcoholic beverages. For more on the safety measures, you can visit our website, wcbi.com. Ole Miss returning to Oxford this weekend for not just the home opener at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, but to begin SEC play as well. The Rebels, coming off a 5-point loss to Memphis from last week, they're getting ready to take on Arkansas and hoping to come out with the team's first win. Against the Tigers, the Rebels' defense kept them in the game while the offense struggled in the first half. With the tough Arkansas defense coming to town, both sides of the ball are looking to be better than they were the week prior.
Of course, it's always nice to see progress, but you want to see the end goal. Games like that, you got to pull it out at the end. You just can't. You can't let them one slip through your fingers. So we definitely got to do a better job this week.
We just got to take it one step at a time. Arkansas is a good defense, so SEC big game, home advantage for us. So we just got to take it one play at a time. We're gonna be good.
They got two seniors in there at defensive line that are very, very stout, and Mike linebacker seems like he's been there forever. But very, very good in the middle. And same thing offensively with their quarterbacks and their running backs. So up the middle, they got a lot of experience and are very good.
As both State and Ole Miss prepare their home openers, here's how you can prepare to watch them play. Mississippi State will play Southern Miss with kickoff on Saturday. That's at 2:30 p.m. And in case you can't be there, you can go and watch that on ESPNU. Ole Miss returns to Vaught-Hemingway Stadium to not just open its season again, but they're starting SEC play, so you're not going to want to miss that. Arkansas coming to town for the evening matchup, kickoff at 6:30 p.m. Also will be available to watch on the SEC network, and if you can't watch any of those, we'll have highlights for you later that night on WCBI Sports. That's it for sports. The last look at your weather is after the break. Stay with us.
More sunshine for the next few days here, 93 on Friday. For your Saturday and Sunday, probably mid-90s, lots of sunshine too. We talked about the heat safety for MSU, but really if you're doing anything outdoors over the next couple of days here, just plan accordingly. That sun is still very, very hot. And the heat index should be in the triple digits here by the end of next week. Maybe, just maybe, a few spotty showers and storms.
All right, as we get further into September, the weather, the temperature just keeps going up and up. That is the news at 6 o'clock. Everyone enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. We'll see you back at 9 and 10.